ואין ראוי לישראל שהם חכמים מחוכמים. Jews, which is supposed to be chacham mechukim, were supposed to be intelligent people, because at the time most people didn't know how to read, and the Jew knew how to read and read, and he knew things. How can an intelligent human being follow such shtusim? How can a wise, intelligent person dream that any of these things have any ta'elus? It's a pasuk in Chumash, the God expects you not to look at these things and take them seriously. This goes for all these different zgula things. I don't know, put some knobble, put some garlic in your safe, and there won't be as geneva. You'll make a lot of money. I've seen these things. Yeah, das is pashim ma'oinu mechashiv. Okay, kol hamami b'dvarim eile v'kayotze behen u'mechashiv b'libo shem emes v'divrei chachma avla Torah asraisan einoi ela min ascholim sichlim u'mechusar adas. If you think it works, it's just usher, you're an idiot. First, it's very good you have a diploma from the Ramam that you're an idiot. Also important. It's very chashuv smicha. Okay, so he writes, if you believe this works, it's only usher, you're a sachal and a mechusar deya. And then he says something which is obviously not politically correct anymore. At the time, people which were vulnerable and susceptible to things were people which are not well developed in their thinking process, did not read. Women and minors, the Rambam calls them, that was at the time. Well, today we discussed this one. Things have changed. The Nashim are definitely different. Right. Yedu berayas brewers. Shekol ela advarim she'asr Torah. Ein divrei chachma. Elotoyu vehevel. Shenimshichu behem chaseirei adas. V'notshu kol darkei ha'emes beglala. Mipnei zeh. And because it's narishkeit. And this was the narishkeit which Avodah used to create religions, etc. Mipnei zeh amra Torah kishizhira kol ela avalim. What does the Torah say at the end? Tamim tiyeh. Im Hashem Elokecha. You should be a wholesome person. For him, Tamim tiyeh means Tamim tiyeh Hashem Elokecha, because the other stuff is not tmimut, it's narishkeit. I'm just pointing out it's because this is not just usher. It is something which is off the rocks, off the screen. That's why God says, please be a wholesome person. Don't go off the boat. This is a very important thing, because a lot of Jews, religious Jews, what we would call frum Jews, are deficient in this Perik and Rambam. They don't learn Rambam too well. Okay, now there's a whole letter of the Rambam dealing with this, and I want to read it to you. That's the first letter in front of us, the Igeris to Chachmei Montpellier, Agzeris HaKechavim. This is Montpellier, a very famous place in France. You must have heard of it, right? Rav Blachman. Ever heard of Rav Blachman? Rav Blachman Montpellier. So this is what it writes. Higia Shailas Alufenum Yudaena Chacham Avenim Yoidedas Din Vidas Adon Dinas Montpellier. Motam Ve'edil Terazam. They were Talmidei Chacham. He gives all these very nice brachas. This is Moshe bar Maimon Asfardi, and this is your letter shows that you are pure people and you will think well. Right from you search wisdom. You analyze things. You have a quest for development of your intelligence. Because of Yosha, you want to understand things clear and in a correct way. I should read this every day before I say a shir. Unbelievable. This is just, yes, I'm talking to intelligent people that have a quest for knowledge. I understood your question. All your questions come from one issue. Who called Davar? this issue of Havrei Shemayim v'Chayz Mikarim, stargazers, as we call it, these people which think, that the planets and the stars will define your past, present, and future. Obviously, I understand you didn't get my Mishnah Torah yet. You didn't get it yet. I think a lot of people didn't get it yet. You would have read the book. He takes for granted you get the book, you read it, right? What else is there? Remember, those are the days before there was a Ketzer Mishnah, Magi Mishnah, Lechem Mishnah, with all the Mishnahs in the back and the front. It was just Rambam, Amachai, an easy read. So he says, that's how the Rambam describes it's not Hichsav V'Dezor, it's Hichsav V'Dezor V'Chukos Hagoy. When you understand why he did that, it's another topic for why did the Rambam mix these two things together. There's a reason explained in the Akdama, and it also now explains why there's certain halachas there. But let that go. I think you're going to actually get the book before you get this letter of response. Because obviously this is already a bit around in the idea of the island of Sicilia, which is Sicilia. I mean, it's in Sicilia, so it's not that Sicily, so it's not that far from Montpellier. It's very commonly, it's available in Sicily. Obviously, you can buy it by Amazon. Moshe Pashat b'Mizrach b'Mayrev. Ubeteiman Kopanim. So I explained the Zokter Rambam. Dura Boisai, you must know. She'ein ra'oi lanu, is not worthy of us. La'amin ela be'echem shlosha dvarim. We should only believe in one of three things, and this is a beautiful Seichel Rambam. Rishon, the first thing which should cause you to believe in anything, davar shetiel of raya brura midaita shel adam. If the logic demands it, if it's a davar brura midaita shel adam, geometry, etc., knowing kufis and mazos, we know astronomy. These are things which are proven. We can logically deduce them, and we know what they are. It's called math, physics, etc. Okay, this is divine, which are not maybe. There's no maybes here. It's what the Ramban says in the Akdama to the Milchamas. In Cheshbonis with Tishboris, he says there's no face chotech. There is a clear-cut rayas. And once you have a clear-cut rayas, mofes chotech, we believe in it. He says, Taka Gemara doesn't have that. He writes that in the Akdama, the Ramban. In Gemara, there's no mofes chotech. Like, there is a certain sense of intuition. In math, there ain't no intuition. He says, other yaw, other name. You know what I mean? There's no middle point. There's no maybe. So he says, first and foremost, the first thing you should believe in is things which are like math, etc. The second thing. So first, a logical deduction, which is clear. Second thing is, she'asigo adam be'echad mechamisha hagashis, or things that you literally internalize through your five senses. You saw something, you know it's there. You touch something, you know it's there, etc., etc. And you only know as much as you touched, or you know as much as you smelled, or as much as you heard. But what you experienced, internalize a phenomenon with one of your five senses, as much as that sense tells you, that's what's there. So you know that too. You saw a person, you see it's a person, you understand, oh, that phenomenon is called a Homo sapien. And that's a black. Mamish fits for time to get in America. His name, he's a George Floyd, whatever it is over there, Dalton. As an Adam, as a Shacher. Yeah, you see things with your eye. You can discern through your taste buds whether this is bitter or whether it is sweet. Or through your sense of touch, you can say this is cold, this is hot. These are all things that you know because you experience them through your senses. Or called sarur, is it called havara? This is something which is a pleasant smell, or something which is spoiled and has a terrible smell of rot. Those are so far. Those are two things: logical deduction, and through the five senses. Then he said the third thing you should believe in: that is already, you internalize as a fact, not just believe. Very important thing. You will believe things coming from people who have you trust, equals prophets, because you have a reason to believe in a prophet, or minat tzaddikim. Those are the three things. Those are the three things we believe in, and all of them actually are knowledge. Because the idea is, once we believe in this, is we internalize and we live by that. That's called know. Like, I know there was Matan Torah. I have whatever reason I have. I discussed this once in the year. I can do it another time. That I know. That I don't even need faith for. That, to me, that's much clearer to me than the fact that that I had a grandfather that was killed in Maidan. That I only know from my father. Matan Torah, I know much. My father's eight apostle. He's an Eidechad. Bosses Araya. But he was there. I'll take his up, okay? But Matan Torah, I bet you bigger Adam, it's much clearer to me. Okay, so these are things which are, it's called Minat Tzadikim and Anavim. So those are the only things I believe in. You should start doing this. Either a clear logical deduction, something experienced through the five senses, or something that you hear from people which you totally trust the flow of knowledge equals Tzadikim and Nevi'im. So any intelligent person, as soon as he encounters a phenomenon, will he believe this, or is this imagine? Is this an illusion? What is this? He immediately has to analyze, and he has to say, why do you believe in them? Everything you accept, you are to analyze which of the three categories causes you to believe this. It's an unbelievable letter. You must analyze in your mind, in your thoughts, whatever you believe in, you must say to himself, this I do because I accept the Kabbalah of the Nevi'im and the Tzaddikim. Matan Torah, for example. Any historical phenomena, its only proof lies in Kabbalah. In a chain of a trustworthy chain of information. No, the fact that I don't know what that we were once a colony of England in America, or that Israel was Palestine under a British mandate. You only at the end they know it because a flow of information. You can't verify anything. You haven't seen the documents, and you can't know that the documents are not forged. There's a lot of that. Okay, the answer at the end of the day is because you have a live chain of people with a flow of enormous chain of people which constantly repeat the same story over until you get to the person and says, yes, I was there. For example, today there are many people which basically won't believe in the Holocaust. They have a lot of them in Germany today, in Europe today, Nebuchadnezzar Aleinu, it's there. What do you do with the documents? No, concoctions of the Jews. That's an easy thing to say. Why do I believe in the Holocaust? Because I trust my daddy. And I trust all the other people that I spoke to, and they all told me the same thing over and over and over again. Therefore, I have a flow of live information, which I totally trust. That's the Kabbalah. All historical information is nothing more than Kabbalah. One does not look for a mathematical or a proof or any type of logical proof that there was the Holocaust. That won't exist. Whatever you're going to have is because you're going to trust certain, there's going to flow of information that you trust. Did Washington cross the Delaware in the winter of 1776? For you who are Americans, okay? I actually should ask that as a question, but it doesn't matter, okay? Okay? You ever go around in New Jersey? In New Jersey, in every shtetl, it says, George Washington slept here. He slept all over the place in Jersey, okay? You'll see, George Washington, he slept a lot. The teretz is because the Ikka of Muhammad was in Jersey. That's why it's called Washington Heights. You have to understand. This is the place where we try to where the Tories were, where the Melucha was in England, was in New York. New York was a very loyalist community. That's where Cornwallis had his Malchus. And poor George, he was in Jersey, you understand? He was in Teaneck. And you know what I mean? The English were up there, in Washington Heights. Yeah, they were, and that's where it was. Okay? Now you try crossing the you. There's a Mishra of history that flows with it. You're not the first one who's been saying this. This has been going on and on and on and on until someone actually, the day. That's what I'm saying. I'm actually saying things which are very, very heavy. It's because they're heavy, I'm saying is a joke. Okay, that's the cloud. I learned that from Rabbi Akiva. To keep attention, you must crack a joke every so often. Okay, I and the Medrash, the famous Medrash, they all talk about Rabbi Akiva saw that people were falling asleep during this year. So what did he do? He says, why did Esther have 126 Medinas? Because she was a granddaughter of Sarah, which lived 126 years. The Medrash is saying he didn't really mean it. He did it to give you guys up, to say something funny. And then have so many drushes to explain the co-relationship. Maybe you should see what the Medrash says. It says he didn't mean it. He just did it to wake them up. How do you really meant it? It's so funny. Anyway, but this is something which is important. I'm laughing because Nebuchadnezzar, but these are jokes. This is the cloud. So the cloud is you have to find out, is the beginning. Why do I think this cocoa is hot? I touched it. This, I came to a logical deduction, this must be a truth. You have to categorize, this is the biggest sight in life. Anything you believe in, any anocha you have, can you please categorize why? I'm not trying to teach you guys this the whole year or whatever. You must always ask, why do you think this is true? Okay, this may be rocking your religious boat, but the Rambam believes that if you're about there, you're going to have to make these categorizations. Okay? And if you believe in something, because that's what they say, okay, isn't that what most people believe in? Don't they say that no leaf will fall unless God wants it to happen? Don't they say, they say things, okay, which is not a logical deduction. You don't really know the historic chain. Do you know the historic chain? No, they say. It's a very common thing for young people. Who are they? The Sitra Achra and the Malach HaMavis. I don't know who they are. Who's the they? So the klal is Pesi Yamin L'chol Davar. You're a fool. So the Ramah b'stayt yot. What can I tell you? I wouldn't want to be in that box. That's how the Ramah started this conversation. Well, to believe in astrology, first of all, is it logical? Does it come from the Nevi'im and the Tzadikim? 3, or is this something which we can ascertain with our senses? The fools have, sometimes people say, but it's in the book. You know what I mean? It's just gedruckt. And I always tell them, what do you want? So and if it's written, so what? Why would that make a difference? So the Rambam first. Now you can get the mocker of some of my remarks. There's thousands of books which are nothing more than hot air. There are many people who lived a lot of There are a lot of old, experienced, not intelligent people. What can you do? There's no ksafi, there's no insurance policy that if you lived X amount of years and read X amount of books, you're actually intelligent. You can be a nice chamor, nicest for him. What's the big deal? You accumulate a lot of things and you put it in a box and you're carrying it above you. Poor guy, you're carrying heavy weight. So he says, there are people who spend their time reading these books. I'm talking about you must decide which college course you're going to take in the future. Don't waste time reading Narishkeit. Things which you cannot ascertain with logical deduction, Kabbalah, Amitis, or the third one is senses. That's a lot of disciplines. Especially if you do the humanities, you'll understand what I mean. Ba'ala al-libam shehem chachamim. They come to the conclusion they have a doctorate. So I'm very wise. He has a few Rosh Tevas after his name. Ich weiß PhD, LLB, mit allen Zechonim lebrachas dorten. I'm a bucky in astrology. Most of the people actually agree with them because they don't know. האנושים יחידים השרידים אשר השם קורא הוא דבר שאני מודיע אצלם. Very few people understand what I'm about to tell you now, he says. Multitudes of people have spent their lives believing in these things, printing books about it, getting degrees on it, v'chulu v'chulu. Sagt החולי הגדול והרוע החולה, שכל הדברים שימצאו אדם כתובים, יאללה, הליבה בתחילה שם אמס. A major sickness. As soon as you see something written, you take for granted it's a truth. It's a very interesting truth. I see this multiple times. Avista state, I don't want to say which sefer, that's why sometimes, I will spend time to undo certain books. Certain form I like to point out the holes in. Why? Because why are you accepting this without thinking? It's a word of moron. It's a moron with the zeichet tzad v'kosh l'vrach v'chai l'olam haba slusa yogin aleinu. You got all that before and after. Oh, you believe? The Heilige Shem Mishmuel says, did you check out whether it's intelligent? Why do you trust it? It must be Kabbalistic. I don't know. I learned Kisvei Ari. Don't know. Where's it from? What's the muck? What are you doing? Does he have it with Kabbalah Messinai? No, clearly not Kabbalah Messinai. No, the book says it. You trust it blindly. Why? You should respect it, but you have to analyze it. You have to respect it. You don't just walk away. These are very important people. You must learn it with major respect, but always have your antennas out. Okay, does it make sense? A. Where can the primary source of this thinking be? I can tell you right now, without saying names, there was a time which I wanted to get close to a certain very popular big time Tlachim, by the way. How will we describe these type of people? I think they call it Balei Machshava. So I wanted to get close to a certain person. And it really was accessible. It was quite easy. I listened to him for 2, 3 times, 4 times. I said, this is not for me. And Rav Blachman asked me, why is he not for you? I said, because he doesn't give sources and I have to believe him totally. I can't do that. He said, you're right. Even Rav Blachman, I didn't trust him. After every mimer, I used to go in there. He knew he wanted me to stay. I said, okay, where's this from? Okay, then I would understand. Okay, this is your interpretation of a certain shtickle in the Zerakash. Good, could be. At least I know where it's from. And I know how to done. Yes, sir, but just because you said it, you're a big man with a shina buad and pious and the word, so what? What is this blind faith in a beard? I mean, do you trust Theodor Herzl? He also had a beard. Okay? I think maybe people should have trusted him, by the way. But if I hot the board, I want to say Jesus had a beard too. I mean, lahavdil, right? But what is a beard? The story that one Bial, he was clean shaven, was walking in the street, and a Jew says to him, Reb Yid, Jew, where's your beard? He looks at him and says, Rebbe Beard, where's your Jew? No, you're Mr. Beard. Are you also Jewish? Okay. That's a chochem mechukim koloshen Rambam. Okay. So you felt in Yiddishkeit if you're not a chochem mechukim. So steht the Rambam in Hilchos Avodah Zarah. So one has to understand this is what one does. So he says a terrible thing. He says, Miyad yikvoitz bedaita shel nimar she'elu divrei chachma v'yemer beliba v'chile sheker asa eight tzayfrim. You mean for a non-intelligent thing, he would print the book? It can't be. It's printed. It's not intelligent. It is so true. Every self-help book written by some whatever, printed in Urim press, all of a sudden becomes the Bible, okay, and gospel, especially by the women. And that's what the Rambam says, Noshim v'ktanim. So, this is wasted time. And that because of these things, we lost our malchus, and it destroyed our Beis Hamikdash, and that's why we are in Golus still today. Our forefathers sinned, and they are no more here. Why? They had a lot of books dealing with astrology and Avodah Zarah and all the philosophies, etc. That is be'etzim avodah zarah. Lo shani lo shanachu is a slip of avodah zarah. He brings the hilchos avodah zarah. That was the means of avodah zarah developing. K'may shebi'anu b'hilchos avodah zarah tov v'no achreim. V'dimu shem chachmas before. They didn't just stop doing avodah zarah. They were influenced by a lot of books, and they took the written word as if literally like the gospel. Yes, literally like the gospel. And therefore they started believing it, and this became a truth. Okay, so he says, well, they didn't spend time. Brother dear, you're about to do a rebellion. You're standing against the Roman Empire. You want to do something? Well, then don't you say, God will help. Or the stars say it's on our side. Make yourself a decent army. Learn tactics. Who are you coming against? You're going against the Roman Empire, for goodness sakes. They were sure it would work. They had the stars on their side, as they state the Rambam. Believe stuff you see in the Nevi'im that basically here he's talking about Bayis Rishon, that they were sure that the stars are on their side, that the Nebuchadnezzar will not come and do. There's no way you can destroy the Beis Hamikdash because the stars, whatever they are, Nevi'im told them they're mad. Because they followed such narishkeit. Do Rabbi Yisai. Now this is a beautiful letter there. I actually analyzed this. I researched this. I read a lot of these books. Now listen further. The first discipline I did before I went into further in my thesis, going to explain in a minute what this was. I first researched the idea of astrology. That's the first thing I did. Then he continues further. I read everything available on pagan deities. This is a heavy researcher. When the Rambam says something, you hold back. The man is saying, I have read everything available. He says the next sentence, I think, there isn't a single book existent in the world which was translated to Arabic, which was translated from other languages. I don't know if you're aware of this. For example, all of Greek philosophy that we have today, all the Chachma of the past, the Iliad, whatever you're going to call it, overwhelmingly, we have it retranslated from Arabic because everything was destroyed in Europe. You know what I mean? And all converged into the famous library in Alexandria, okay, the great library of Alexandria. And that's where we have most of our writings. Aristotle's ethics today are translations of an Arabic, which was a translation of the original Latin or Greek, whatever it was. So when he says, I read everything available in Arabic at the time, equals the whole library of religions. The man did a more than just a PhD. He read the library of comparative religions and philosophies. Very well-read man, Rabbi Dr. Moses, okay? I read everything, not just like, with my feet up on the couch, and with a cup of coffee or whiskey. Rather, I read it, I understood it. I went to the core of their understanding. And after reading all that, now you understand, you learn when you open the Moreh Nevuchim, who are you reading? Nisbarali tam kol mitzvahs. After by reading all that, I began to understand that whole chelik shlisha, the Moreh Nevuchim, how he explains the time of the mitzvahs, that the mitzvahs overwhelmingly are there to uproot that type of thinking. He does that endlessly in Moreh Nevuchim in the third volume. People would think, why would you have to do basav v'chalav? But it's not true. He writes before Shadah because basav v'chalav was a tzuras avodah kechavim. Read it of that. How does he know? Because he read everything available at the time. Vayeshli Chiber Gadol Be'iyin Zebeloshin Arabi. I have this great book written in Arabic, which is the Meir Nevuchim. B'rayis beruris I'll call mitzvah or mitzvah. Lo lekach u'tzrachna ata v'ani chozer li'yan sheshaltem. So first of all, get this straight. I want you to understand what has he done here, the Rama. First of all, he says you must accept things because of one of three possibilities: logic, senses, okay, logic, senses, and a verified tradition of people you have a reason to believe. That's three. Then he comes and says, do not trust the written word. The written word alone doesn't mean a thing. It really depends who the author is and to what extent you trust the author, or that you actually verified it yourself on your own. He testified that he read multitudes of books and came to the conclusion that 99% of this shtusim. But he does point out there's a choili raw of people trusting the printed word. Interesting. It's very contemporary. Das steht in Rambam. Du Rabbi Sai, shekol eisen dvarim kulam shegzeres kechavim, shem oimrim ye'er kach v'yer kach, u'mayloda shezeh yimshich le'shiyeh lo kach, v'yer lo kach. If you're born under this planet, under this sign, you're probably going to have a tendency going in this direction or in that direction. Kol eisen dvarim einon divrei chachma klal. He's attacking even the understanding of Amoraim. Yes, this is not divrei chachma, but tipshus hein. He takes it further. It's pretty rough to call this is tipshus. V'rayis berurah she'ein b'em doifi yeshli. I have conclusive proof of these things. Levatel ke'ikra esadoim, to annul, undermine the basic principles of all these things. He's talking after he researched and read these things. Now, here I'm going to trust him because of one reason only. Because it's not logical. I don't experience it with my senses. And I don't have a Messiah from people that I trust. So why would I believe it? Because a Tanoim accepted certain it's like the equivalent of trusting the science of Chazal. Would you dare heal some today with the science of Chazal? You'd be over le'shirtzach. The scientists, as Rambam himself writes, they were not scientists. The best they did, they worked with the cutting edge of science available at the time. They believed heavily in leeches and bloodletting. Remember Yoyachper? Okay? The big thing, everything was solved by drawing blood. Yeah, well, that, we realize today that overwhelmingly that weakens the person and makes him even more vulnerable. Everything they did with that. You know that. I know that. Look at your history. Okay? Now, let's be honest about this. So we look at certain things in Chazal. We look at them and say they are obviously talking about things which they heard or it was acceptable at the time. They tell you the story that in the sea there's an animal which is half animal, half vegetable. They didn't see it. No one says he saw it. It is commonly known, granted, because once it becomes commonly acceptable, and you figure it, but how did it really start? Some Joe Smith in the desert made up a Meiser. If not, you should believe in the Book of Mormon, for goodness sakes. Okay, that's what the Rambam tells you. So don't look at the fact that a certain number of accepted contemporary reality. That doesn't mean it's true. That means that's the life they're living in. They also did the science the way they understood it. One day you'll learn Masechtas Nida, and you read the Amud Gemara there about the anatomical reality of the women's productive organs, the organs of productivity, the womb, etc. You look at it, then you open up an anatomy book and you say, Loi Korv Zel Zel, it's so far from one another, it's like Machni Yisrael, Machni Mitzrayim, and Bayamsu. They never met. The Teretz says this is based on a certain perception of science, and what can I tell you? These machlis never meet. It's not. I once told you that some Sefer had a hard time with this. So he says because it was very late when they finally dissected people, so then they saw it didn't work, so he had a problem. So some Sefer says maybe the gufos of goyim are different than Jews because they each katzim v'ramoshim. And the Gemara is talking about the anatomy of a Jew, which doesn't eat trephis, but obviously the goyim eat trephis. Therefore, their reproductive organs are built differently. I mean, you realize this is one of those some ciphers where afterwards you say Kaddish Rabbanah because it's different Agoda. This is not, if you'd paskin with this, you'd be in a bad place. Okay? Okay, this is a passion. So I'm trying to say, yes, that's what he's saying here. He says, none of the real scholars and thinkers of the period, which are the Greek scholars, no one ever wrote a book on this topic. Not no such things were ever printed or written. Ella, who wrote these books? Where do they all come from? They're ancient, from the Kasdim, Kaldim, Mitzrim, Knanim, ancient, primitive religions, where we have no scholarship, no research, no logic. They believe things like a bunch of, pagans. Also, they call this wisdom. This was contemporary belief and faith at the time. We talk, look, anybody who knows anything about the history of thought, maybe you should do a little reading, okay? The thought that you know today, your analytical thought, which is based on deductions, causative thinking, cause, effect, there must be a correlation between cause and effect. That whole thinking historically developed from Yavan. By us Jews, Baruch Hashem, it was earlier, okay? Baruch Hashem, as a nation, we had Baruch Hashem, a Torah, and Talmud Bavli is very causative. But if you want to talk Yavan, that's Yavan. Yavan is, we brought that to the world. The idea of very causative thing. You have to thank Yavan every day. I always tell you on Chanukah, you should make a birchus goimel that there was a malchus Yavan. Then you have to explain. I once discussed this at length. But Yavan is only half the story. There's another half of Yavan which you don't want. We're not going there at the moment. But the fact that there wouldn't be a Chaim Brisker without Yavan. He's pure Yavan. I mean, anybody who understands to analyze the Reb Chaim, no, this is Yavan perfect, unbelievable Yavan. Forget the Rav. What are you kidding? He doesn't need rice. His Kool-Aid based on causative thinking. A svara and a machriach, a svara and a echrich. He doesn't even need a text. It's Kulei Chachmas Yavan. Those are the people. He says, Shechibra b'Chachman is asking b'chomini mada mahatlin v'soichkim umalivim be'ela arba. The great Greek fellas look and laugh at the Kasdim, the Kaldim, the Mitzrim, and the Knan. They think they're idiots. They're shepherds. They annihilate basically root and branch of anything those books were ever written. Even the Persians, he's actually a very beautiful historical approach here. They also already understood, we're talking about the Persian Medes, that already dissipated in Persia. It's actually interesting because the astronomy we know today, not about today, the astronomy at the time of the Rambam, and actually, until quite a while into Greece, late, okay, the Shorish Hashrashim is still built on Persian. The Chachma astronomy we got today from Persia. The Rambam writes this Mefurish in Nichas Kiddush HaChodesh. I think that's more than enough. So what have we learned here? We've learned here what the Rambam thinks about these things. It's very important. If you ask me, what is the seichel not to believe in this? Because there's no reason logically to believe in it. I said, point out, the Rambam points out that the idea that there's a deterministic reality due to astrology, it's mufrach mitzad seichel, and it's also mufrach mitzad theology. So mitzad theology, he'll explain. Yesterday we saw there's no schar v'oinish, etc. It means that God isn't just. But where was the seichel? So here you have the Rambam in the letter which talks about the seichel. I want to show you a little more. There's also very interesting Pirsha Mishnah to the Rambam in Saktas Avodah Zarah. You have that here. I sent it to you. This will be a class in how to accept or not accept ideas. You learn this good. You'll be a lamda. Dr. Rambam in Pirsha Mishnah of Avodah Zarah. In Perik Daled Mishnah Zayin. Mishnah says, Shalos came beroi. If God doesn't want the avodah zarah, why doesn't He annul it? What's the problem? If He doesn't like it, why doesn't He annul it? In other words, this is what the Romans asked the Zikna Yehuda that were in Rome. We know Rabbi Shua went to Rome, etc. These are the Skanim, the very famous Gemars, also in Bchira, Shnos Avodah Zarah. And I say famous Gemars. I think you have a course called Famous Gemars. No, isn't it like a course that you have? So this is one of the famous Gemars. Okay. Amr lahem, elu ledavar she'en la'olam tzorich bay. Hayu oivdim, hayu mevatlai. Hareim oivdim lecham levanu l'kechavim. Ye'oved oilama v'pnei ha'shoitim. What do you want? What do they worship? They worship the sun and the moon. What do you want me to do? To destroy the sun and the moon because some idiot attributes something to it? The world needs the sun and the moon. So what do you want to be mevatl? Atkat. Amr lahem, im ken ye'oved davar she'en la'olam tzorich bay. Well, if that's good, but they also worship things that we don't need. And this goes on. You can read the Mishnah. Zok the Rambam. That's what I want to read. You have it in front of you. Please look at it. I want to read it together with you. They do not believe in what we call, you'll see in a minute, astrology. They ridicule them. Those who think that the stars and the moon, the sun and the moon have ashpa, they're ridiculed. The Chachamim, which means the philosophers of Greece, they look at them, it means nothing to them. You see how much he attributes respect to the thinking of Greece. He uses them as a mucker that they are fools. Well, we already saw that also in the letter that he sent to Montpellier. So this is another follow-up idea. To explain this at length will take time. I say this nation bnei Adam, like kulam, niftim achareim p'tiyas dolis might. He's talking about the Jewish people. They accept these things blindly. Yes, I don't want to go into certain people which accept these external things. You know, you say this, you jump this happens, this will work. No badly can it. Okay. There's many things that we do that if you do them with the right intent, they can be meaningful. But if you do them for another intent, it can run between ma'oin and mechashiv, avodah zarah, or just purely idiot. I want you to understand. It's a very simple thing to get used to the idea. Really, you have to know why. That's why the Rambam says, figure out what you're doing and why. You're going to a keva. You better figure out why and what. Because you probably, if you don't, you may be running into avodah zarah mamish. It's mamish dorish alamesim. It's not. I'm not joking. Okay, if you sing Machnise Rachman, better tell yourself why. Because the Ramban thinks it's avodah zarah. So it's great to sing this on Rosh Hashanah. L'chat to be over avodah zarah on Rosh Hashanah. It's a tremendous thing to do. So you better figure out why you're doing it. Maybe it's avodah zarah. Machnise Rachamim. Thus is the Ramban writes before in the Drush Rosh Hashanah. Thus avodah zarah. You're in luck, as the Baal Shlama argues. Oh, so at least you know it's a machlekes harishonim, and you decide that you're machriya like a Ramban. Okay, I would be chayshish for the Ramban. Even a fake of avodah zarah on Rosh Hashanah, more the kula alma. The last thing I need is that on my scale. You're gonna come up to heaven. They're gonna tell you, you're avodah zarah. So what are you talking about? I eat shirayim, and I don't know what. I look like, straight out of Kiryas Yoel or Williamsburg. I don't know which side I'm supposed to be on. Okay, Vuven, yeah, why? Because you did what you did when you went to a cave. You didn't know what you were doing, and you didn't think the right things. You're avodah zarah. You went for a nesiyah to Uman. You thought you're saving your soul. But whatever you did there with the kavanas you had, you are avodah zarah. You better have the right kavanas before you go grave hopping. That's what I'm trying to say. And figure out what you're doing and why, and therefore they do it correctly, intelligently, in malasot. So he says, "Mipnei sheroiv bnei adam v'ulai kulam niftim achareim ptiyos gdolos ma'od ubedvarim rabim eminiyim v'chayshim shein dvarim amitim." People actually are convinced that you do this, it mamish will work. The Rebbe blessed $1, mamish, it's going to save my life. Or the Rebbe gave me a piece of the Afikoman, this is what's going to do it. Or I'm going to have a dry leaf from the Ishanis, from the Aravis, and that's what's going to save my bank account. We used to go to Moitzi Shabbos when I was in Knopke. I used to go for the summer, and it's a resort near in Holland, off the English Channel, Knopke, Dunberg. So we used to go into Antwerp on Moitzi Shabbos to the Heilige Rebbe Rabitzkel. I don't know if you know who he was. He was a tzaddik. He have to be a first cousin of my mother-in-law. So, and Rabitzkel, he used to give out garlic. And my shver had a safe full of it, in the safe, in where he put in, a deposit box, wherever he kept all his contraband, the illegal stuff that he can't declare. It was full of Rabitzkel's knubbel. I figure, I know what it's for, because it stinks so much, no Ganav is going to try to open it. Maybe that, whatever it is, he believed that this knubbel, this is going to mamish do it for him. Well, if I really pray that he knew what he was doing, because accepting it blindly is mamish. I don't want to say what it is. It's not Judaism. It actually may be a major avera. Here, I'm giving you examples of very good, fine, firm people. Believe me, my shver was a very fine, firm person. Okay, mamish. Afal PK. You do have a deserve. What can I do? So they don't kill you, but you still got to do kapara. So in your al chaitz, you'll include the different shirayim and the other stuff that you think is going to save your life. Okay, you got to figure out. You pushed because you wanted to get an apple from the Pittsburgher Rebbe. Right? I remember he once came to Karen B'Yavna and they gave out shirayim. And the guys were pushing it. I says, "What are you doing? It's dry cake. Why would you want it? Are you kidding? It's unbelievable." I remember I was in Skver. The Rebbe once called me. He wants to talk to me. So after Purim, I came early. They were in the middle of the Suda. So they made me sit there, with all the elder gentlemen. I feel very awkward. And then the Rebbe sends me a piece of challah. What am I supposed to do with this? So a guy told me, put it in your pocket for shmirah. I said, I have to remember, it's about Pesach. It's going to be chametz. You have to burn it. No, you don't burn it. You have to eat it. It's what can I tell you? In Grodno, they didn't do this. Not where the Ramah was either. What can I tell you? And this is whatever it is I've just read to you. Afilu tovim v'chasidim mi'anshe tereseinu chayshvim shein dvarim nechaynim. Ella shebasum mitam Torah. They actually think all these things work, but what it's asher al pidin. So he says, ve'enam yodim shein dvarim betelim shikrim hizhira Torah aleim kederch shizhira ala sheker. That's a very strong statement. Just like the Torah was mazer not to lie, the Torah was mazer not to do an ma'ayin and a mechashev, because that's a sheker. Just at the aside, the Ram says an unbelievable nakuda. You don't think for 1 minute it's taka emes, but there's an isser. No, he's hira Torah and ma'ayin and mechashev because it's sheker. A tremendous yisaydi. He knows how Kodesh Baruch Hu hates sheker. Okay, weiter zot der Rama. Vein dvarim shenaslam pirsum Rav Etzel ha'amim. Vayisod lekach di al tzaba hem anoshim asher richek Avram Avinu mehem. The people who were this starters were exactly the people that Avram Avinu was breaking their idols and walked away from. The whole Lech Lecha is Avram walking away. After reading and researching history of Avodah Zarah, he knew exactly what was happening that time. I think I once mentioned, he even has a whole description of the high priest of paganism, which was the counterpart and the big opposition to Avram. You probably don't know this. His name was Tammuz. The month of Tammuz that we are going to be going in is named after the archdevil of Avodah Zarah, which is the opponent of Avram Avinu. Do you know that? It's a Rama Mar Nevuchim. I don't have the books available to me, but Mar Nevuchim I have. He writes this. So we are another 2 weeks are coming into the month, which is named after the archdevil. They say it's unbelievable. I think we should try calling it by another name. Abarzayidus. It's named after the Kohen of Avodah Zarah, which stood in opposition of Avram Avinu and tried to get rid of him. He's the reason for the Lech Lecha. Pretty good. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Okay, so anybody calls himself Thomas, he should think twice. Okay? Okay, where do you think Thomas comes from? It's etymology. Pasha comes from that Kohen Avodah Zarah called Tammuz. Weiter, that's just information. Okay, so he said these are the people that Avram Avinu had to run away from. He's the one that argued again, which countered and contested their meaningless ideas. But Hashem believe him in as God infused him with wisdom, he was capable of opposing this. Those are the people which gave importance to the stars, and attributed them capabilities that is much more than what they had. All these things are ancient, going back to that point of time, roughly of Nimrod, etc., after Dara Palaga, when the world sunk into Avodah Zarah. All this is elaborated on in Perik Aleph Halacha Avodah Zarah Halacha Aleph Beis. I'm going to go and skip, and I'm going to flip the page where the Rambam finally writes. Where I flip the page on the right column. If you see next to a small letter 30, you go down a few lines. It says, then idiots came around. Those people did this for a purpose. They wanted to get people together, and they made up figments of imagination in order for people to follow them. That's what he actually says when I skipped. But then afterwards, people, which was just they love a book, and the book said so, and they believed it. And all of a sudden, since they found it in books, you can get something good out of this. Don't realize that all these things were concoctions of people with a political agenda. A very parallel to that, the Rambam writes the what we call the tzedaikim. So people say, "What's a tzedaiki? You don't believe in Torah Sheba'al Peh." Rambam says that's shtiyot. That's not what happened. What happened is they didn't believe in anything. They wanted, as the Gemara says, they said, les din v'les dayan, there's no accountability, and therefore there's no concept of mitzvahs and schar and einish. That's a mefurish Gemara. So how did it become that you don't believe in Torah Sheba'al Peh? How did one develop into the other? So first, they said, because Antigna Sheisoche said what he said, they said, les din v'les dayan. So how come all of a sudden you believe there's din v'dayan for Torah Sheba'al and not for Ba'al Peh? So the Rambam, because they wanted to create a movement, and they realized in order for a movement to happen, people have to accept it. People don't walk away so fast from something. What you do is you water it down and modify it and introduce some elements that people will want to keep. For example, when Paul decided to bring Christianity to the pagans, he introduced certain pagan customs into religion. Therefore, they would accept them. That's why you have evergreen trees on Xmas. You have a St. Nicholas with a reindeer. There were no reindeers in Palestine where JC was walking around. We don't have snow. Okay, that is, okay, go on and on. These are all remnants of Saturn of ancient. The Gemara brings it up by Avodah, an ancient Roman holiday dealing with the equinox. The tkufa, when the tkufa of Chayrif comes in, that was the tkufa of exactly is around that period of time, somehow in Kislev, and that's what there was a holiday called Saturna, and they kept that and instead of worshiping some pagan deity, so you decided that Yossel the Mamzer was born then. What's the difference? They used comfortable elements and infused it with a new meaning. This is normal because people will not listen to you otherwise. So the same thing here. They were kaifer in everything, but they couldn't say that openly. The Rambam says they would have killed them. I mean, you must know this, right? It's a Rambam in Pirkei Avos. They would have killed them. So because they wanted to create a political movement, so they concocted a lie. They said Torah Sheba'al and not Torah Sheba'al Peh. Obviously, once you decide Torah Sheba'al and not Torah Sheba'al Peh, you now gave yourself the capability of making Torah Sheba'al pliable and workable, and you can do what you want. I look at the reform movement and the conservative movement, and you'll understand. It's very simple. Once you walked away from the authority of halacha, of Torah Sheba'al Peh, you create your own interpretations and etc. And you do what you want. It's like I once read in the Akdama. I had once 3 volumes of Reform Responsa, Trials and Chuvas of the head of the Halacha Committee of the Reform Movement. His name is Rabbi Dr. Solomon Freehoff. Was a rabbi in the Reform Temple, big temple in Philadelphia. So it's a very interesting book. He writes in the Akdama, he says, halacha is not binding for us. Of course not. Of course not. Why would we? It's just man-made, etc. But it will inform us of cultural trends and therefore give us guidelines on how we should interpret things today. So what's he doing? He's using it as much as it'll work with what he wants. I understand him. It's very nice. Well, that's what Tzaddik and Baisis did. What did it allow them to do? That now a Ben Anachris is called a Jew, and a cat is called a mouse, and a horse is called a pig. What's the difference between saying a cat is a mouse and a goy is a Jew? They can redefine what they want. For I care, maybe Melechus Shabbos is to snore. I don't know, whatever they decide. Okay, that's Mamash what Tzaddikim did. You have to understand. So that's the cloud. People don't realize these things, that some things, ideologies are made in order to gather the masses. And then simpletons actually take these things for real. Now, I'm not going into the anthropological development of certain movements that we know within Orthodoxy, which also certain things were done to galvanize leadership. And then somehow all of a sudden people believe it's a gula and I don't know what. And they won't burn the Shirayim for chametz. You know what I mean? I remember once reading a tshuva in a Galiciana Sefer does bittul work on Shirayim. Because the chayre, you're not really a mavatal. How can you be mavatal Shirayim? This is not for the ara. Does bittul work on Shirayim? I remember one of these Galiciana tshuvas. This is the Rambam. So he says, etc. So the Rambam basically says, one must understand, again, this is what he writes in the clearest way possible. There is no reason. When I want the logical deduction why this is meaningless, because there's no reason to believe it. If you know the historical background of these thinking, you realize they're concoctions made for a social reality to galvanize a group of people. That's when it started. And afterwards, idiots went and took it and looked for what it was. Any people with intelligence, knowing its source, ridiculed it. This is what the Rambam means when he says, we just heard that logically it's meaningless. What do you mean? There's no chacha that it's wrong, but there's no reason to say it's right. That's the cloud. It's written in a book. You know what? So is the New Testament, also printed in a book. You can read it. Okay. Ad kan to today. There. I hope this is very clear, and this is something you will take further and apply it also to how you learn Gemara. Have a good evening. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Tomorrow, regular shir, right? I sent you, very important. I sent you a package. Try doing on your own, developing the relationship between the Gemara in Bamitzia to the Gemara in Ksubas. I sent you a package of information, very important. Okay. See you. Bye. Great evening.